everyone, it's Jess from Meyer Hatchery, and welcome to another episode of Meyer Makes. Today we're going to be creating a special project that allows us to celebrate poultry on the go. We are going to be making a chicken-themed mug cozy. This is a really fun project, and we're actually using a little bit of a different technique we haven't used in Meyer Makes before, and that's felting. Let's take a look at the supplies that we need to get started. All right, so let's take a look at the supplies that we need to make our cozy. First, you're going to need some wool felt as the base of your cozy. So here's my piece that I have here. You can buy this by the yard, or you can buy it by the sheets at your local craft store. You're also going to need some tools for felting. So you're going to need a felting block, and there's different types of felting blocks out there, but this is the one I really like to use, and it's great for beginners. You're also going to need a felting needle, and a felting needle is different than a regular needle in that it has a ton of little barbs at the end of it. This is what's going to create the felting process. With your felting needles, because they have all those barbs on the end, you want to be very careful when you're felting. You're also going to need some wool roving, and I consider wool roving to be like the paint when it comes to felting. And wool roving typically comes in little balls like this, and it's all these little great strands here. We're going to separate this and use this when we're felting our project. You're also going to need a tape measure for measuring your template. You're going to need a sewing needle and some thread for putting on your button and your elastic. Speaking of elastic, you want to grab a piece that's about 2.5 inches long and about 1/4 inch thick. You can grab any button that you have laying around the house. Lastly, grab your favorite pair of scissors. So there's two different shapes when it comes to creating your mug cozy. First, you have a shape that's more curved like this, and that's going to be for a mug that's more tapered, like this mug here. Think a coffee cup you'd get from your local coffee shop. The other option is a mug that is straight-walled like this. And with a mug like this, you're actually just going to measure your template. You're going to take a tape measure and you're going to measure, you want to come down about 1/2 inch. So this one would be about 3 inches tall. And then you can wrap your tape measure all the way around, and about 10 inches long. So you would cut that out of your felt. For the curved mug shape, like this one here, or the tapered mug, I've actually left a link in the description below to a template that you can use for that. I followed the standard size for a tapered coffee mug. After you've chosen the shape of your mug cozy, go ahead and cut that out of the felt. Now it's time to add our design to our mug cozies. For the design, I just kind of envisioned the shape of a chicken and I drew that onto my piece of felt, actually using a permanent marker. I wanted to make sure you could see my outline really well. You can use a dressmaker's pencil too for drawing your design. If you need some inspiration, take a look on the web, look at the different shapes of the chickens. You can also go outside and look at your own flock and just think what shapes come together to make that chicken shape. For the chicken that we're making, we're putting our hen on her nest. So it's just a simple kind of shape like this. I'm adding a comb at the top, a little beak here, and our nest at the bottom. After you've chosen your design and you've transferred it to your cozy, it's time to start felting. All right, so I brought the camera in a little bit closer so you can see how I add the felt to our cozy. I've taken some of our wool roving here and I broke a little piece off, and then we're actually just going to start filling in our design. So I like to kind of start on one spot, and I'm using my needle and I'm actually punching it in to our felt here. I'm gonna just kind of fill it around. You could fold it on top of each other. The cool thing about felting is the more you punch it into your block and into your piece of felt here, the more worked into your cozy it's going to be. So what I like to do is I like to outline my project first, and then I'll go in with more of the roving and I'll just start filling it in. And you want to use your needle and punch, punch, punch until that roving becomes a part of your cozy. You want to make sure it's all well worked in. When you're done with your chicken, you can go ahead and start working on the beak and the comb. Again, it's the same way we've been working here, only you're going to work much smaller. So I'm using a much smaller piece of roving here, and follow that template that you drew for yourself. To create the eye of your chicken, roll your roving up into a very small ball. And even this, I may have to break in half a little bit. Then we're just gonna poke it into the spot where we want it and felt it into place. You're going to keep following that same felting technique, using your needle, punch, 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 until there's no extra fibers that are standing up. You'll notice that your roving is really well incorporated into your felt. You may even see a little bit on the back here. The last thing that you need to do is you need to add the button and the elastic to your cozy. So on this end here, I came in about 1/2 inch in the center and added a smaller button. I used about a 3/4 inch button here. You can go a little bit bigger if you'd like. On the other side, I used that piece of elastic, and I actually used my sewing machine for this part, but you can hand sew it as well. Again, I came in about 1/2 inch and I stitched my elastic into place. And here's what our mug cozy looks like where we've attached the elastic and the button. This is really great because it gives you the option to use different types of mugs, and it'll stretch to fit around your favorite mug. I love how this project came out. It looks so cool on my mug, and what a great way for us to celebrate our chickens and keep our mugs nice and cozy as well. Hopefully I've given you some inspiration on how to make your own chicken mug cozy. If you have any questions about this project, be sure to leave those in the comments below. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so you're the first to know every time a new video has been released. Thank you so much for watching, and happy fall!